After a long application process, from getting rejected, sitting the UCAT 3 times, and taking a gap year, I finally got into medicine. And here's exactly what I did. Hi, my name is Hazeem, and I'm a gap year applicant living in London, and I managed to get 3 unconditional offers and will be starting medical school this September. I wanted to start this YouTube channel to document my journey and improve my confidence. So if you want to see what life is like as a medical student in the UK, as well as learn what mistakes to avoid when starting your medical application and some general productivity tips, make sure to subscribe. I've wanted to do medicine for quite some time, probably when I was in around year 8, as I loved biology and chemistry and really liked the idea of being able to apply that knowledge to make a difference to patients' lives. So like everyone else that wanted to do medicine, I applied through UCAS. I got the predicted grades I needed, did my personal statement, everything was going smoothly. But that was until I had to sit the UCAT exam. Now for those who don't know what the UCAT exam is, it's pretty much just an exam that medical applicants have to take to get into medical school. This year is made up of 4 sections: verbal reasoning, decision making, quantitative reasoning, and situational judgment. I won't go into detail about what each section is, but basically that exam was really hard. It was one of those exams where there's no content to memorize, it's all skill based, and it seems like no matter how much practice you do, it seems like you never improve. Going back to me sitting the UCAT, I had to go to a test centre to sit my exam. 10 minutes in, my computer crashed. The test alone is really stressful enough, but my computer crashing just made the whole process a lot more stressful. They were able to fix the computer and I was able to complete my exam. However, when I got my result, it ended up pretty average, and the universities I applied to were all Russell Group unis, so average is not good enough. Luckily, I made sure to submit an appeal, as my computer crashing disrupted my test quite a bit, and I was able to resit my exam the same year. This time, I made sure to do another few weeks of preparation, and I was feeling a lot more confident. I decided to go to the same test centre as I'll be familiar with the layout, which will hopefully make the whole process a lot less stressful. I did the UCAT with no issues this time, and my score improved a bit so that it was slightly above average. However, it wasn't enough to secure any interviews from any of the universities I applied to. Either I could do a different course and transfer into med later, or I could take a gap year. I decided to do a gap year as it gave me more time to strengthen my application, and it's also just a more simpler process. Knowing I had to take a gap year, I just fully focused on my A-levels, and then eventually results day came, and it wasn't what I expected. I ended up with a score of AAB, with the B in chemistry. I was 3 marks off, which was really frustrating. At this point in my application journey, my chances of getting into med is really low, because most universities have a minimum requirement of 3 A's, whereas I only got AAB. But I made sure to stay resilient, so I made sure to stay calm and just researched all the UK universities that I could potentially apply to. I actually ended up finding 5 or 6 universities where I actually met their contextual requirements, so I was able to apply with my grades. Knowing that I still had a chance of getting into med, I made sure I spent a lot of my gap year strengthening and improving my application. I made sure to do more work experience by tutoring GCSEs during my gap year. I also rewrote my personal statements so it's a lot more competitive. All of these changes helped me land 3 interviews, and this was a huge difference as I got none before. Doing a gap year meant I had a lot more time on my hands, so I made sure to use that time to effectively prepare for my interviews. And I'm happy to say that time was well spent, because I managed to smash all 3 of my interviews and I ended up with 3 offers. And that's how I got into med. This experience taught me 3 things. The first one is that persistence does pay off. If you're passionate about medicine, and you can't really see yourself doing any other career, staying resilient and really just putting in as much effort as you can really help you be a lot more successful. The second lesson is that you don't need the best score to have a successful medical application. Applying strategically to medical schools alone can make a huge difference to your application, whether it will be unsuccessful or successful. During my gap year, I had to resit the UCAT exam, and I actually ended up with the exact same score as my second attempt, but just changing one thing, which is the universities I applied to, helped my application be successful. And my final lesson is that it's not the end of the world if you don't get into medicine the first time. Taking a gap year was honestly one of the best things that happened to me. It gave me time to reflect and improve my application without the pressure of school. I gained lots of valuable experiences, from tutoring, being a lot more confident, and also having time to improve my physical and mental health. And all of this helped me come back a lot more focused the second time round. If you really want to do medicine, one rejection does not define your journey. You can bounce back stronger just like I did. If you're in the same position I was, or just starting your medicine journey, make sure to subscribe, as I'll be sharing everything I wish I knew when I was first applying. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.